When you're around your closest friends, you get to be your true, natural, authentic self. And when you're around public or people in authority or people that can call the authorities and stuff, you have to act prim and proper and be a little bit of what they expect. Because once they break that illusion of you, that's when they go from fear to the dark side. Greetings, peers and queers. Welcome back to another episode of Monday through Friday with me, your hostess, JC. So on this video, I wanted to bring up a kind of sore subject, microaggressions. Microaggressions are not somebody threatening you with violence. Somebody not allowing you to exit a building, blocking your way. It's not somebody calling you a slur specifically or threatening you in any shape or form. Microaggressions are the subtle things, the little things. Somebody just giving you the stink eye, refusing to give you all of the service that they would any other general customer. Or, in the workplace, not including you in what's going on with everyone else. Mentioning your name last all the time on purpose with an air of second thought. To give an example of that, here's a video that I had made last summer. So I had gone to the Walgreens here in town and go up to the counter. Of course, I had my mask on, but I'm dressed like this today, right? I look pretty fly. There was two young cis women in line behind me, and they were saying, "Oh, is she that one that you know? Is she? No. And she's not a real girl, right? No, she's not a real girl. Oh, she's pretty though. Yeah, she's pretty, but she's not a real girl." They used the right pronouns. They used she and her the entire time that they were talking about me. And they did call me pretty, which is flattering. But, you know, said that I wasn't a real girl. So, in instances like that, I wanted to turn around and be like, "Hi, my name's JC. Couldn't help but hear your conversation. Are you talking about me?" I chickened out. Because I didn't know if I should correct them, thank them, what. Has that, or a situation like that, ever happened to you? Now, microaggressions can be directed at a number of different individuals. Whether it's your nationality, the color of your skin, practicing a physically showing religion, any number of things. Speaking English as a second language in a predominantly English-speaking nation. You will find yourself inundated and flooded with microaggressions on a daily basis. Here's an example. At my last job, I was working in a kitchen, and just looking around the room, who's wearing a mask? Who's wearing a mask as we handle food? Well, all of the people of color were wearing masks. All the people with English as a second language were wearing masks. All of the queer people were wearing masks. All of the women were wearing masks. There was only 2 or 3 individuals who were not wearing masks. And they're white, cis, hetero males. They didn't fall into any of the other categories, therefore they felt like they didn't need to wear a mask. Now, I'm not a mind reader. I couldn't read their thoughts or prove that, aha, this is the reason why. But it was funny looking around the room. I'm like, everyone who is considered different than the norm, than the default, is adhering to the rules, and those that seem to be on level with or considered the default feel like they don't need to. That's microaggressions. Or that could be a form of microaggressions. We get to do things one way, but you have another list of rules that you have to follow. Started a new job, yet again. First day, I wore plain working type clothes, black t-shirt, black pants, black hat, okay? And the job said you're not allowed to wear makeup. Cool, I didn't wear any makeup, came in, again, black hat, black top, black pants, and I got he-himmed almost the entire day. In fact, I got he-himmed the entire first day. I was upset at that, so I'm like, what can I do to change it? So I wore a titty shirt. I wore a shirt that showed off the girls the very next day, and didn't change anything else about my attire. She, her, the rest of the time that I'm working there. Alright, it worked. Not everyone's that fortunate, and I do fall into a few certain categories that give me a little bit extra boost on others. I'm Caucasian, and, you know what I mean? So, like, and I'm an English speaker. Those two right away are a privilege. It just is what it is. But the difference being from appearing or dressing one way, not getting the right pronouns, trying to stop people and be like, hey, here are my pronouns. And them just speaking to one another in front of me like, who's this guy? Who's him? I don't know, he just got here and stuff. And I'm like, actually, and they're like, not even caring, not listening. The next day, girls come out, everyone's like, oh my god, come hang out with me, talk to me. Now, I did get in the break room, like, one person nudging the other one, sitting down and eating lunch. How would you like a girlfriend? Or like, well, you get a load of her, wink wink. That happens. Just today, my partner and I had gone to a local pharmacy. We had to pick up some prescriptions. And the person delivering the soda stopped what they were doing and just stared at us the entire time as we walked by. And it was that, like, it's usually one of three things. It's either disbelief or wonder, lust, or a need to, like, be physically violent right then and there. Those are the three that we usually get being transgender women. I didn't pay attention. I'm like, I gotta go do what I gotta do. I don't have time for this. My partner did kind of like, was having a rough day already and made eye contact. And she's like, yep, I saw all three, one right after the other. It was like lust, wonderment, and then aggression. And I'm like, babe, we're uncommon. It's not that we're different. It's just, we are very uncommon. So people are going to stare, just like people stare at all kinds of different groups of people all the time and don't control it.
Just like people stare at all kinds of different groups of people all the time and don't control
it. It's different. And you learn that empathy the more that you go on. Like, yes, I will get dismissed because I'm a woman. Yes, I will get threatened or I'll get hostility because I'm a trans woman. Depending on the different lights that people see us in, from their own backgrounds, it's either, oh my god, you're so brave, that's awesome, or you're so cute, or you're adorable, or what are you doing, you're a traitor to everyone. And it's like, how is my living my life any difficulty to you? When I'm out there in the world, I'm pretty flat forward. Hi, thank you, hello, you know, and I don't even like get in a stink with like, no, you're gonna call me this. Deal with the pharmacy, deal with something that's got my name on it. Hi, last name is this, first name is JC, or it might be this. And then they're like, oh, okay. Here's another one. We went to my bank to deposit the last check from my old job. As we're depositing it, the teller was like, oh, and are you on his account? And I'm like, oh, I am him. I do have ID if you need to see it. And she's like, oh, okay. I get it. I understand. That's something that happens. I can either choose to let it, like, upset me, or I could be flattered in the fact that she's like, holy shit, girl. Damn. You know what I mean? And I chose to be like, hey, she was cool with it and stuff, corrected herself. It wasn't a big scene. We were at the tobacco store. Guy's busy, and he's looking at me and my partner, and he's like, "Urgh." And then I just put on the suite with him. I'm like, hi, how's your day going? Oh my god, isn't it nice that the snow's starting to melt? Super cool with us at the end. He was like, you ladies have a good time. So a lot of it is how you interact with people and what you allow them to do. Although, it can be very tiresome all the time when you have to live one part of your life this way and one part of your life this way. How do I explain that? When you're around your closest friends, you get to be your true, natural, authentic self. And when you're around public or people in authority or people that can call the authorities and stuff, you have to act prim and proper and be a little bit of what they expect so that their illusion and stuff doesn't get shattered. Because once they break that illusion of you, that's when they go from fear to the dark side. Sometimes people need to believe the fairy tale in their head. And do transgender women have to be feminine in order to pass? Absolutely not. Do non-binary people need to do any kind of performance for them to be valid and non-binary? Absolutely not. Nobody has to prove themselves to you. Just try to be a good person. Try to treat all people fairly. You know what I mean? It's really not that hard in the grand scheme of things. Getting back to microaggressions. For those of my viewers out there who are in a similar situation as me, be it trans or queer in general, visibly queer, I'm sure you get interactions that you can just tell this person dealing with you doesn't care very much for you or doesn't agree with the way that you're living your life. And for the few nutty few, the way that you're living your life is an immediate disgrace on them. You're making their day harder. I've had coworkers in the past, albeit jobs ago, coworkers in the past straight up say like horrible things about me in front of me to the guest or the customer. And then I would wait for us to be alone, and I would turn to that coworker and I'd be like, you know, what you said there didn't really make me feel all that good. In fact, it was very rude, and I would appreciate if in the future you didn't discuss me that way in front of anyone, let alone a stranger or a customer. The one time that I had to do that, that person responded back with, I don't care, what I think you're doing is wrong. I think you're a sinner, you're gonna... And I'm like, you know, I did wait until we were alone to bring the subject up to you, out of fairness, out of respect. But now I'm going to bring it up to management, and I'm going to bring it up to supervisors, because that is discrimination. Have you ever had to talk with somebody in the workplace about somebody else in the workplace? Have you ever had an issue where somebody's being extremely sexist? Somebody's flirting with you and not stopping. Somebody's purposely hating on you and trying to rally a group around them to also hate on you. Whether those people around them would even consider it or not, it's kind of hard when you are Frankenstein's monster and you see one villager that you're forced to interact with on a daily basis for pay start handing out pitchforks and torches. Like, come on, let's get them. It's like, I'm not doing anything to make your life any harder. I'm just being me. I'm having to deal with your... or I need to get into a space where you're at, like, excuse me, this is heavy, or this is hot, I need to get over there, and then you don't move because you want to make my life harder. Is every single one of those a microaggression? No. Sometimes they don't hear you, or they're already doing something. I get it. I understand. But you can tell when somebody is just tossing things at you, and they don't talk to you, and you try bringing up a conversation, and they're like, and then you see that person with somebody else, and they're like, oh my god, how are you, blah, 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 da, da, da. You know, male, female, anything in between and stuff. If they're like, oh, hi, how's it going, oh my god, yeah. And it's like, huh, do you know them? No, I don't really know them. I'm like, well, they were awfully chatty with you. You know what I mean? So yeah, it could be difficult in the workplace, and it could be difficult in clubs or anything that you belong to. It could be difficult dealing with the public when you know that you're going to face some kind of backlash. For queer people, especially visually queer people, we have to constantly be on guard. If you're non-binary, expect somebody to use pronouns that you don't choose. If you're trans, expect somebody to make a comment, either sexually or about their repulsion. It happens. And it's like,
well, when I woke up this morning, my master plan was to ruin your day, and I just kind of rolled with it until I could finally manage that.
I am myself every single day. I'm not a kink. I'm not some pervert or anything like that. I pay my fucking taxes. I deal with bullshit stares and questions all the time. All the time. My going out there and living is as much for everyone around me and everyone that comes after me as it is for my own safety, my own mental health. I am JC. This is who I am. I am not anyone different. And if knowing me and having a positive interaction with me makes it easier down the road for the next person like me that you see, good. So that's pretty much it for this video. It was a bit of a harsher topic, but we've been doing some fun ones recently. I mean, come on, we were talking about bisexuality and what is love. By the way, you can see those videos in the Monday through Friday playlist, or you can check the description down below. I look forward to seeing you again next week. I love you all very much. Take care of yourselves. Bye. When the camera stopped rolling, when I get back in my car and stuff like that, I go to bed like this, I wake up like this. I wash the makeup off because I like clean pillows. Which, by the way, one of the cool things about being trans is I've had plenty of people say, hey, what's your name? And I'm like, oh, JC. And they're like, wow, JC, that's a pretty name. I'm like, thank you. I chose it myself.